Hi guys, it's me again, the old nerd dude, coming at you on YouTube. Well, GDC was this week, and to be perfectly honest, in case you don't know, GDC is Game Developer Conference, and it snuck up on me this week. I thought it was still a couple weeks off, and then I realized, of course, beginning of last week it wasn't. That was past week. A couple big things came out of it. Um, it's a game developers conference, so you're not going to see a lot of really huge announcements during it because everybody's saving their big, huge stuff for June, which is when E3 goes down. But two big things did come out of it. One was from Microsoft, which is going to allow cross-platform, cross-network play. Um, Basically, it means if you have an Xbox One, you'll be able to play the same game, or people playing the same game on PC. Now, the first title that's going to support this is Rocket League. This was not a huge surprise to me because they've been making a real big push on Windows 10 and Xbox gaming type stuff. The thing that shocked me was when they said, hey, we're also going to do cross-network, cross-platform, so meaning that PlayStation 4 people, if Sony wants to play along, will be able to talk to the Xbox people and the PC people. Sony's reply was that they're open to this. It's going to be up to the individual developers to support it in their games. I don't know of anybody who wouldn't really want to support it, to be honest. One game that could benefit hugely because it came out on Xbox, PS4, and PC, Windows 10, is Tom Clancy's The Division, which is the game I'm currently playing and I'm a big fan of. So this is huge. People wanted this cross-network, cross-platform thing for years. I still think it's probably a little ways off before we actually see it, but the sooner the better. It'll be interesting to see how it gets implemented. Right now, other than them announcing it, we don't have a lot of info to go along with it. Other than Rocket League is going to be the first title out of the box to support it. Now, Rocket League on the PS4, the people have been able to play it with the PC people for quite a while. So it'll be fun to watch. The next thing that got announced at GDC was the Sony VR thing for the PS4, Sony's VR. Now, to take advantage of it, it's going to need the PS4 camera and the PlayStation Move. You can get it in a bundle. I think the bundle is going to run on about $500. The VR itself for the PlayStation, just by itself with nothing else, is going to run $399, so $400. I was thinking it was probably going to be between $350 and $400. I was hoping for $350, but $50 more, big deal. From what I've heard, this works really well. Of all the VR solutions out right now, like the Oculus Rift and the HTC one, this one's going to be the cheapest. You're going to have a lot larger installed user base because it's on PS4. The Oculus Rift requires a pretty heavy duty PC, which a lot of people aren't going to have. I think this will probably be the one that wins the VR wars, just because of the sheer volume of people that will probably end up owning it. And there's a lot of titles that are in the pipeline for it too. And again, this will be another one that'll be fun to watch how it plays out. It's going to be available in the fall, which I've kind of figured as much. So I would recommend, if you want it, pre-order it now, because I'd imagine it's probably going to be hard to get when it comes out. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the pre-orders don't sell out. And the next thing on my list is I want to talk about The Division some more and Destiny. Because these games, even though I see two different camps on this game, a lot of people say it's similar. They're similar. A lot of people say they're not. They are. They're shooter looters, MMO RPGs. Now, one description I've heard of the Division is it's kind of like a shooter version of Diablo. And what they're talking about is the loot drops. Pretty much, you kill something, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a loot drop. It's unusual to shoot something or shoot someone in the game and not get some type of a loot drop, even if it's just ammunition. Here's my thoughts on the Division versus Destiny. After having played both for quite a while, or having played Destiny for quite a while and the Division since it came out. After having played the Division, to me, Destiny seems like a broken game. There are systems that should be in the game that aren't. And the main one is the looking for group function. If I'm going to go and do a story mission or go into the dark zone in the Division or anything else, I can go into an in-game safe house, or even if I go to the mission, it'll come up and say, hey, do you want to party with other people? And I can pick quick match, or I can do a thing where I set the parameters for it, and it'll go out and find people to team up with. In Destiny, there's no mechanism in game to do that. You have to do it outside of the game. I'll be honest with you, I think I'm probably done with Destiny. Now, I know Bungie announced that they've got some DLC coming up. I guess we're hearing an announcement coming up this Wednesday. I'll pay attention to the announcement. I'll be anxious to see what they say, because like I said, I put a lot of time into that game. I'm also anxious to see what happens with Destiny 2 next year. I would hope that Bungie's going to up their game a little bit and at least put a looking for group function in. But the Division, it feels like a complete game to me. And Destiny doesn't when I compare the two together. Which I hate to say, because at one time I really liked Destiny and I played put a lot of time into it. So hopefully they'll be able to catch up with the Division and make it a better experience. So now that we've got all the gaming stuff out of the way, I said in the introductory video I shot that I wasn't just going to cover video games and stuff like that. There's going to be other nerd stuff. So let's get into other nerd stuff. Along the lines of DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which airs on the CW network. I really want to like this show. I like watching Arrow. Of the 3 shows, it's my favorite. I like The Flash. Legends of Tomorrow has some problems. With the exception of 2 of the characters on the show, I can't stand the rest of them. And I think it's a combination of the writing and the plot in general, and I think maybe the casting might be a little bit off. And when I say the casting, I'm looking at the character Adam, who's played by Brandon Routh, who played Superman in Superman Returns. When I see him, I see Superman. I don't see the guy he's playing. And they really, I feel, should have cast a different actor in that role. And his character just comes off as too cheesy to me. So I'm not a big fan of his character anyway. Rip Hunter, here's the thing with his character. With the way the plot's written right now for the show, you have to have him in it. He's not a compelling character. And I'm getting to the point now where a lot of times I'll fast forward through the show to get to the interesting parts. The other character is Hawkgirl. I can't stand that character. She's badly written. We haven't really seen her do a whole heck of a lot. Firestorm is kind of the same way. We have not seen actual Firestorm do a whole lot. We've seen the Professor do a lot. and those other half do a lot. Never the two combined much. Um, and then the whole Captain Cold and the guy that shoots the flame gun, I forgot what his name is. Of the two, Captain Cold, I think, is a more compelling character. Now, I did read an article here, it's probably been about 2 weeks ago now, where the showrunners have said, yeah, they're going to rotate some characters out and bring some new ones in. This is desperately needed. Also, if I were them, I would consider tweaking the plot of the show a little bit, if not a lot. Vandal Savage is an interesting character on paper, but to be honest, he's kind of one-dimensional when you actually watch it. And our heroes never seem to get the upper hand on him at all. So, like I said, I really want to like this show. I really, really do. But I'm getting kind of to the point where I'll give it till the end of this season, and if it gets picked up, which I think it probably will, for next season, I'll try it next season. But if it hasn't improved, I'm probably just going to go ahead and remove it from my season pass on my DVR. Like I said, I really like the Arrow. I really like the Flash. This show's got some problems. It's not a situation where it can't be fixed. But if it's not fixed, people are going to quit. I think people are going to quit tuning out. Because, like I said, with the exception of Sarah and Captain Cold, those are only two compelling characters I'm going to watch. That seems to be the general consensus, and that's my thoughts on it. Well, that pretty much comes to the end of it. I really can't think of anything I want to bring up. Like I said, still been playing a lot of The Division. I really like the game. I also think the review scores are kind of low for that game. And I'm not exactly sure why. Like I said, I really like it. There's a few things that need to be tweaked. I think the penalty for if you get killed in the dark zone is a little rough, because not only can you lose your gear and some of your dark zone credits, but you also lose experience. When you add all that up, that can be a pretty harsh penalty. And I also watched a video here the other day that argued for making alternate characters just to run in the dark zone and not be your main. That way, if you take a beating in the dark zone, you're not going to lose a lot. Which probably isn't a bad idea. So that's pretty much it. Again, if you like what I'm doing here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. That'd be great. But feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And on that note, I will talk to you again later.